Good evening once again. Our top story here at 6 tonight. Education leaders here in the state of New York are now trying to ease some of the stress that is made for a very difficult school year for students, parents, and teachers. They're now talking about changing state testing.
The Board of Regents wants to cancel most tests this summer, but their plan still needs federal approval. Local teachers tell 7 Eyewitness News senior reporter EILEEN Buckley this would be a huge weight off the shoulders of students everywhere.
We really don't need to do this to our kids.
The president of the Kenmore-Tonawanda Teachers Association says students and teachers are already struggling with remote learning and should not be forced to take standardized tests.
We don't need to have this artificial level of assessment thrown on kids on top of that. We don't think it's good for them. It adds additional stress for parents. And frankly, it chews up instructional time where we could be doing other things with our kids.
But if state ed fails to get those waivers, there will still be a reduction in testing. 4 Regents exams would be administered for high school students: English, Earth Science, Algebra, and Living Environment. There will be no August Regents. And for grades 3 through 8, those controversial ELA and math assessments would be just 1 day.
It would only be the multiple choice section. And then the 4 and 8 science exams would only be the part 1 of those exams as well.
JOLENE DIBRANGO is vice president of the New York State United Teachers. She says the teachers union commends the state education department for putting students first.
Why not give families a break?
We agree that this is adding a layer of stress.
The board also agreed students would not need the Regents to graduate, but they must pass their course in order to get their diploma. The union says with so much lost in pandemic learning, the testing could only create a false narrative of student performance. Area educators agree.
The New York State assessments aren't the only game in town.
Hamburg School Superintendent Michael Cornell says teachers already know where there are learning gaps.
Well, those locally designed assessments that teachers create that allow us to understand what a child knows and can do in a particular content area at a grade level, those are far better.
The federal government will review local assessments being submitted by state ed to show how students are measured without mandatory tests.
Our district knows immediately where the achievement gaps are by grade level. So we have a clear understanding of what we're going to need to do to help kids catch up.
These kids take these assessments in April, and we get the data in, much later on. I mean, it's not really helpful.
Educators say there are gaps in reading and math due to remote learning. EILEEN Buckley, 7 Eyewitness News.